It plays one of a lot of, a few cards. One Doomblade, one Unburial Rites, one Terminus. Terminus is a card I would like to see more of, honestly. I think that card's really good.
I mean, having played Terminus a lot in the last couple of weeks on Magic Online, it's actually really impressive how much work Terminus does in making sure that the graveyard of your opponent stays empty for Moorland Haunt.
Right. Right. It has a lot of subtle advantages for a lot of the cards in the format, like, Gravecrawler, Geralf's Messenger, any madmen who want to play Kuldotha Phoenixes.
Right, or even, like, say, something more reasonable like Strangleroot Geist.
Right, that too. So they're off. Looks like Bob has won the roll, leads with Forest. Tim Wegman responds with Seachrome Coast.
Inkmoth Nexus and a Green Suns for 1. We're going to see one of the only birds in the deck. Pardon me, I shouldn't say one of the only bird in the deck.
So, both these players pretty local. Bob is right outside of Hartford, which is about a 45-minute drive from Worcester, and Tim's from Western Mass, outside of Springfield. So both players within a 45-minute drive.
Island for Tim Wegman, leaving open mana for a potential mana leak. Now, interestingly, no mana leaks in Tim's deck. And in fact, Doomblade, the only possible spell that he could cast on that mana.
So, Rob plays a Glimmer Post, gains a life, and Rampant Growth.
One of the things we're going to see for Tim Wegman here, if a Primeval Titan hits play, Tim is going to be in really huge trouble unless he can get down a Elesh Norn circa immediately, or start getting Sun Titan plus... Does he have it? Does he have it?
He has 0 Ghost Quarters in his
Ghost
deck.
Quarters. So,
2 in the sideboard.
In this first game, then, that's kind of where the match is going to kind of rotate around.
Right.
Is can he get an Elesh Norn into play?
Wow, look at this draw. This is a turn
Primeval
4 Primeval Titan with Cavern of Souls.
Tim is going to need to get Elesh Norn and a Unburial Rites into the yard with a Forbidden Alchemy, I think, in order to be in this game. Or I think it's already over. Even with a potential Doomblade on that Primeval Titan, I don't think that would be enough.
No, I mean, this... Well, one of the things about the Solar Flare decks is they've always been particularly weak to the card Inkmoth Nexus. They rarely have any answers to it. Tim's deck actually has 4 Lingering Souls, so he's a little better set up to beat it.
Let's see what he gets to put in the yard here. It's very important. Cavern of Souls, Blade Splicer...
No Elesh Norn.
A card I cannot see.
Whatever it is neither an Elesh Norn nor an Unburial Rites.
I am willing to make a claim here that this game is all over but the crying.
It looks like Tim can cast a Day of Judgment, right? Oh, no, I don't think he had a White Source.
Even had he cast the Day, just that much mana, plus the double Inkmoth.
Right.
Just so much.
Now, Rob only has 2 Inkmoth Nexus in his deck, so...
Oh, wow.
Tim only has to exhaust 2 Nexuses. That said, though, that's easier said than done for him, because he has 1 Doomblade, he has 4 Lingering Souls, and that's it. He really has no other way to profitably interact with Inkmoth Nexus. And I think Tim built his deck with the Delver decks in mind.
Oh, absolutely. This deck is not designed with ramp in mind, which actually, one of the things we always see in rock, paper, scissors style metagames is when it's a little bit overweighted, there's the Doomblade, pardon me, the Go for the Throat to kill the Primeval Titan. When there's a little bit of extra weight on one deck, it can mean that another deck can slip into that metagame hole.
Yeah, definitely, and this is a perfect example of it right here. I think Wolfram was a great choice this weekend.
Here's the mana he's setting aside for an Inkmoth Nexus activation.
Yeah, he knows that Tim does not have a heck of a lot of outs to the Nexus.
And it looks like he's thinking about tapping 5 or 6 mana right now. There's 5. There's 6.
Could this be another Titan?
Primeval Titan number 2.
Oh,
nope. That's going to Green Suns for 5 to go Acidic Sliming on one of these white sources, I'd bet.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Or it could be the Soul Black source, depending. Goes for one of the white sources.
Yep, he knows that Sun Titans and Day of Judgments are really powerful cards in that these decks usually don't play a lot of black.
And I think I just saw one poison coming on through.
One of many. So right now, Rob has 8 mana, Tim Wegman has 3.
And there's the 4th mana. You cast the day here. Just
Yeah, I think you have to slam it down. You have a lot of them in your deck. You have a lot of ways to kill those creatures. The Day of Judgment's not going to really do a heck of a lot.
I mean,
otherwise.
Okay. Lingering Souls, that actually is much better. I didn't realize he had it. The Lingering Souls represents the ability to kill both of those Inkmoth Nexuses. Now, of course, Robert does have a fair amount of creature kill in his deck in the form of Pillar of Flame, Whip Flare, Bonfire.
Yeah, I mean, plus, he can just wait till he has a whole mess of lands in play and then just attack with an Inkmoth and pump it to an arbitrary amount of power.
A large, arbitrarily large amount. It's very reasonable for Robert to be playing against this matchup as though Tim has no counter magic, because he can expect that they don't. And Tim doesn't.
Right, not a single piece. 2 dissipate in the sideboard, that's it.
And seeing Cavern of Souls on the other side of the table makes bringing those dissipates in a sketchy affair. In for 2 with the Acidic Slime. Did Acidic Slime get reprinted in M13?
I think it's been spoiled, yeah.
Woo! That's good to hear.
Yeah, a great card. That's like one of the perfect green cards. It just really does what Creeping Mold was supposed to do. You know, Creeping Mold a little updated for the creature power creep.
Heck, they made Creeping Mold a little bit better for the Planeswalker lands now, too.
Yeah.
Or not Planeswalker land as in a dual kind of card, but I mean, now that Planeswalkers exist.
Right. So it looks like 2 Spirit tokens are blocking this Acidic Slime, and
the question is, do we pump it up for potentially, it looks like 6?
Yeah.
Up to 6?
He would be able to deal Tim 6 points of damage here if he wanted.
Yeah, he says, no, that's fine. And are we going to see another Green Sun Zenith? Maybe.
These Wolf Run decks are always tough to play when you have a Wolf Run, especially against the control deck, because you never know when to just, actually deal them an extra 4 points, when to play another spell.
Another Titan.
He decides on a Titan. So he's just going to build up that mana base. And right now, with these 2 lands, he's going to be representing a 7 power Inkmoth Nexus, 8 if he makes his land drop next turn. So he's fast approaching lethal.
Now, one of the things to note here, if I'm Tim Wegman and I see no more Inkmoth searched out, I'm pretty comfortable that there are no Inkmoth left in Robert's deck unless they happen to be in his hand.
Right.
Which actually represents a really, really good thing for the controlling deck here, because if you only have to kill 2 Inkmoth Nexuses, then you can actually live on the table by, making those primevals be things that you Day of Judgment and all of that.
Exactly.
And O-Ring for the primeval, leaving mana open, which is a potential threat for any Inkmoth.
Right. Oh, no.
Flashing that works too. Lingering Souls. He can still go through for 1 huge trampling Inkmoth, though.
Yeah, I think that's what we'll see him do this turn.
Yeah.
That makes it so that Tim can effectively never tap out again. Always has to keep up the threat of a Go for the Throat or a Doomblade, which is hard to do when you're sitting on 5 mana in your control deck.
And Robert Beverley, now under the position, what do I do?
With all this mana.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Yeah, he can make Nexus 8 power right now. And if you're Rob right now, what are you afraid of?
If you're Rob, I think that you only fear Elishnorn. I mean, like, right now, he's going to pump up for a lot. Like, as long as he's careful, just the threat of Inkmoth kill next turn deprives Tim of 2 mana the entire game. And he's already so far ahead. In the subsequent turns, he can actually start attacking with that Bird of Paradise, or anything else that he decides to come through with.
Exactly. Make Tim use his removal spells on these non-important creatures. And eventually that last Nexus will get through.
We see the block with the spirit.
And I think we'll see Rob sink all his
All
mana
of
into
it.
this.
Unless he's got a really great card in hand, I would go all in here.
Yeah, I mean, if he was planning on
Yeah,
playing a
there we
spell,
go.
he shouldn't have attacked, and I think we'll see it here.
And he does, all of it in. 1 from the bird, 2, we got the count up, plus the 1 initially, trades with the spirit,
And 7
and a lot
trample.
of poison coming on over.
Tim Wegman up to 8 poison.
It's worth noting that Robert Beverley has one last poison creature in his deck,
Ooh.
Viridian Corruptor.
Huh.
So if that Inkmoth does get killed, he does have Green Suns ×3, plus the draw of Viridian Corruptor, so that path is still open to him should he need to go down it.
That would be a surprise.
Tim lays a land, says go.
Wow.
Tim's possible answers. He's used 1 Go for the Throat. Go for the Throat does not kill an Inkmoth Nexus. He has 1 Doomblade in his deck. That's it.
Yeah, 1 Doomblade. Of course, Rob doesn't
Rob
know
doesn't
this.
know that.
he might not go for it, but based on the way Tim's played this game, I think
I would be very cautious.
I think you have to give him credit
mean-
for a spell here. I don't know.
I mean, but the thing is you've got him on Are You Dead?
Right.
You know, if he doesn't have the answer, then you're just dead. So I don't have a problem with the choice to go there. Block. And we're going to see the pump. Probably a pump for the bare minimum. You can't heal yourself from the poison, so.
no leeches here.
And Tim scoops it on up.
Wow, so a bloodbath of a game.
Oh my goodness.
It went on for a while, but Tim was never really in it, unfortunately.
As soon as the Primeval Titan hit the board,
Right, turn 4.
yeah, given the way that Tim's deck is set up, he needed that Forbidden Alchemy to literally dump an Elesh Norn and a Unburial Rites into the yard. He only has 1 of each. Now, going to game 2, possible cards he can bring in, a second Elesh Norn, 2 Ghost Quarters to go with his Sun Titan. I would say Phantasmal Image is not terrible, and Divine Offering is a card I've always liked as a anti-Inkmoth card, because not only can it kill the Inkmoth, but sometimes you'll see them and they'll be stumbling on mana with their Sphere, and you can hold them off maybe a second green, hold them off of a number.
Yeah, that's. I mean, the one thing Tim lacks right now, he has no shortage of. Well, he has no shortage of answers for normal creatures, for sorcery speed creatures, but you know, these creatures that circumvent these normal measures like Oblivion Ring, Day of Judgment, Inkmoth Nexus. I think you're right. I think he does want Divine Offerings. What about Tameo?
Tameo is a really interesting case. Tameo can hold down a single Inkmoth Nexus or a single Kessig Wolfrun, but if a Primeval Titan has already hit the table, which is fairly likely given only 2 Dissipates, and against Cavern of Souls, he saw 3 Cavern of Souls hit play on the opponent's side of the table. Tameo being able to hold off a Primeval Titan, very unlikely. It's you know, all it takes is that Primeval Titan getting on the table, and the Tameo is just going to be playing catch up.
Right, exactly.
I actually don't like Tameo in this particular build.
And yeah, I mean, also, even if the best case scenario is Tameo lock down your Primeval Titan, that means he's already gotten at least 2 uses out of it, or I guess at least 1 use out of it.
Yeah, and that means
So he has a
that means
Nexus
an
on the table.
Inkmoth it can just kill the Tameo if you need to.
Right. So yeah,
I would like it in his deck if he had more counter magic, and if his opponent was not all in on the Cavern of Souls. Now his opponent's mana, he's only got 2 Inkmoth Nexus, partly because of this. He's running 4 Glimmer Post and 3 Cavern of Souls.
yeah, that's a ton of colorless lands. In terms of a green source that can actually cast a Rampant Growth, how many does he have? 9, 13. He has 13 plus 4 Sphere of the Suns, but that's still a really low number. I'm a little surprised to see him maxing out on the Glimmer Post here. I'm surprised he wouldn't cut something like a Wolf Run. Go down to 1 Wolf Run.
It's a really hard call when you're a ramp deck. Running less than 2 Wolf Runs is risky. All it takes is 1, typically it's going to be a Ghost Quarter, but 1 card that locks out out your Wolf Run, and then suddenly you cease being the same powerhouse that you were a moment before.
Right.
Similarly, running 1 Ink Moth has the same problem. You know, running 2 and 2 is as how do I want to put it? As conservative as you can get, while still being the deck that you are.
It's a nice hedge. That's for sure. Because if your Kessig Wolf Run gets acidic slimed, it is a bad day in Ramp City.
I mean, the rational cards that could be played against you are Acidic Slime, Ghost Quarter, and Tamayo. I don't know that there's any other cards that you can actually see, make that. Oh, Karn. Karn is rational.
I suppose, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of the cards that
Right.
we actually see play in events, that we see in top 8s. We've certainly seen all of those cards in the top 8 of Star City Games events in the last couple of weeks. But I mean, that's not very much.
No, it's really not. I mean, a lot of decks play 1 acidic slime, and that is a big worry. But against a lot of decks, you can actually board out that second Wolf Run.
Shuffle, 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 shuffle. Sideboard, shuffle, shuffle, shuffle,
Yep.
shuffle, shuffle. Now, from the sideboard for Robert has an extra Wolf Run. He didn't see much of Tim's deck, but one of the things, when you see the black, blue, white combination, I would expect the possibility of Sun Titan, with which you can think that perhaps Ghost Quarter comes with. So perhaps a Kessig Wolf Run wouldn't be bad.
No, it's also just pretty good against this type of, pretty much any control archetype in general, because the pressure you can put on them. Although Rob doesn't know that he has very little counter magic.
Speaking of control, Karn Liberated is in Robert's sideboard, so I wouldn't be surprised to see Karn come in. And 1 Zealous Conscripts, never terrible against these slow decks. Elish Norn comes into play, you can go steal the Elish Norn, hit you for 9.
Yeah, that's huge. And since it's a 3/3, not a 2/2, it doesn't just die immediately, too. So looks like the player's thinking about their keeps, and they both do.
Land.
So land go. Tim has a Ponder for his turn 2. Now, do you think the turn 2 Ponder means he's looking for spells or lands?
It could be either way. I actually am a big fan of being slow with my Ponders unless I need them early.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that usually is the default line to take, which makes me lean towards that Ponder looking for lands. So Tim will shuffle his deck.
Random card. Swamp.
Swamp go. I'm guessing Swamp was not the land he was looking for.
It looks like he played that right off the top. Sphere of the Suns. 4 of them in Robert's deck.
3 charge counters, and Tim will untap, draws a Ghost Quarter, but he'll Ponder first, trying to hit a colored land.
I think I saw an island. I think I see an image.
Ooh. Yeah, it just seems like Tim's really overmatched here. It's just really tough for him to answer the different variety of threats Rob has. I mean, sure, you have image for Primeval Titan, but your images are... Well, your Titan is a lot less impressive.
Yeah. And he draws the cards on top.
He does have a plan, though. He's going to image the Primeval Titan, search up 2 Ghost Quarters, and hopefully have drawn a Sun Titan by then. And the white mana to use it.
And Cavern from Robert. Naming Giant, probably?
I'd say that's a safe guess. You see Rob there on the left with his trademark Yankees hat. No comment on that. None at all.
And Robert passes. Tim laying a 4th land, the Cavern of his own.
Okay.
Probably either Giant or Praetor, though it could be human.
Yeah. any of these are pretty reasonable. He has Blade Splicers, Elesh Norn, Sun Titans. Both caverns are on Giant.
And Robert lays another cavern.
Can't imagine this one will be on Giant. This one will probably be on...
Shapeshifter, perhaps?
Shapeshifter
maybe,
for Phyrexian
maybe
Metamorph.
Golem. Oh, human. That speaks towards one card, Zealous Conscripts.
Ooh.
There are other cards he has, but the Conscripts are the ones that I would think would be the most likely to...
Right, he's not that desperate to resolve a Daybreak Ranger. Probably isn't in his deck.
Forbidden Alchemy from Tim. For those of you who are just joining us, I'm Adrian Sullivan. I'm joined here in the booth by Zach Hall. We're at the Star City Games Live Open Series. It's day one, the standard, here in Worcester, Massachusetts.
Yep, and this is round 5 right now. Rob Beverley on your left, playing Wolf Run Ramp, is playing against Tim Wegman on your right, playing Solar Flare. And Rob is up 1-0 right now. So, Oblivion Ring will attempt to take out that Sphere of the Suns, which it will. Tim trying to limit Rob's mana as much as possible right now.
2 mana left open at the end of that.
Now, if you're Rob, you have to at least think about the possibility of mana leak.
I think you absolutely have to think about it.
Tim hasn't played one yet this match.
Doesn't mean it's not there.
Exactly.
Wow.
Another
A third cavern. That's all 3. That's both games, all 3 caverns.
Huh. Not really a card you want to draw 3 of. So this one will probably name Illusion.
And a pass.
Oh, Giant again. Okay.
I like that. I like that. Having just a backup.
Playing around any potential Ghost Quarters like that one right there. Yeah. Definitely a heads-up play.
Sun Titan.
Oh, wow. So Sun Titan plus Ghost Quarter.
Oh, in comes the hat. It gets a land. Now Robert in the position here to be able to potentially drop a Primeval.
But will that be enough with the opposing Sun Titan? So Rob weighing his options here. He has 5 mana available to him. And a grip full of cards. Zealous Conscript, not that good right now. Nothing in his graveyard for him to Sun Titan. And 9 damage really isn't a heck of a lot in the grand scheme of this matchup. So it looks like you decide on Beast Within on that Sun Titan. And Rob with only 1 Beast Within in his 75. That's one of his only answers to that Sun Titan.
Corruptor.
Oh wow. Okay. So 2 to infect, go.
Not so exciting. Tim fully in the driver's seat right now.
Yeah. Paired up with a Wolf Run though, that Corruptor can be scary pretty quickly.
Have we seen any Primevals in Robert's hand?
I don't know. Rob's playing pretty close to the chest. It's really hard to tell what he's holding.
Another land from Tim Wegman. He's got a lot of land. Anything to do with it, though?
He does have a Forbidden Alchemy.
Yeah, I was going to say, Alchemy in the yard.
So it looks like that's his plan as he just says go. Maybe holding up something like a Doomblade.
There, right, we see our 6th mana for Robert Beverley.
That all-important 6th mana. Yep, and there is that Forbidden Alchemy. And if you're Tim, you just want to find an Elesh Norn. ASAP, get that into play. Once you get that into play, the game, theoretically, it should be easy from there.
2 in the deck after sideboard. Blade Splicer, land, I think, to the yard?
I think so. That land wasn't That wasn't a Ghost Quarter, was it, that he discarded? Okay, that's an Evolving Wilds.
Ponder.
And Tim just digging, and you know, this is where the Solar Flare deck really wants to be.
Right.
It's really hard for Tim to run out of things to do with his mana right now, as he has 4 Alchemy, 4 Ponder, all of which will draw him into more. And once the chain gets going, it's really hard to stop it. Now, I really can't believe Rob didn't have a Titan there.
I mean, he might have a Green Sun Zenith in his hand.
Yeah.
And he's only can Green Suns for 5 at that point, which would get him what? It would get him a
Acidic
Oblivion
Slime.
Ring to kill with the Acidic Slime, which that's not that great.
No, it's not. If he could ever catch the Ghost Quarter tapped out, that might be reasonable, but I doubt that's going to happen at this point in the game.
And back to Rob.
Oh, Rob just choking on all these spells in his hand right now.
I mean, 6 mana and 7 mana for that part are a big important part of how the Wolf Run Ramp deck works, but he needs to have something to do with it that is actually, you know, powerful enough without having a Primeval Titan. He's just kind of sitting here. There's a Green Suns for 4, looking for a Solemn. Well, he can't get a Solemn. Looking for a Huntmaster, probably.
Yeah, not what he wants to do, but this must mean he has more than 1 Green Sun in his hand, because I don't think there's any way he'd do this if he didn't.
Yeah, I think you're correct.
Yeah, Huntmaster, I think, is his only choice here.
Yeah, I mean, he does not have a Thrun here.
Surprising that he doesn't have 1 Thrun in the board.
Well, I mean, a lot of people don't see Thrun as necessary versus Delvers anymore. It was something you might bring in against a control deck and they'd have a real problem with it, but the Delver decks right now, that's not what your fight is about, you know? Like,
right.
your fight isn't about getting a Thrun in play. It's about things like having your Titan be relevant in time, which is why you see a lot of creature removal, because with Cavern, you can get a Titan into play.
Right.
Now, that might not be sufficient given how aggressive the Delver decks can become, but here we see for the first time an attack after combat from the Corruptor.
That was interesting.
Making the beast a little 1/1.
I'm not sure I like that play. I mean, yeah, it does shrink the beast so he can attack with that Huntmaster, but I feel like the threat of a Corruptor plus a Wolf Run is maybe a little more valuable. Although with Tim having a full hand, it's unlikely that that'll be too relevant.
And Tim lays another land. 1, 2, 3. Oh, Day of Judgment. Four mana for that. Still has 6 left.
Wow, so if he can follow up with something like a Sun Titan right here, he'll be in great shape this game.
I don't know that he has it.
I don't think so.
He
Rob's
says
already
go.
dealt with 1. So 2 Ghost Quarters on Tim's side of
Land.
the board.
Green Suns for 6. No.
Ooh,
Karn.
Wow.
Dissipate.
And Tim has one of his 2 Dissipates. 1 left in the deck. Rob also 1 Karn left in the deck.
Another land.
Wow, so Tim just very flooded right now. I can't believe he doesn't have any more Forbidden Alchemies.
That happens.
It does. Not often, but it does.
He's got 10 mana right now.
Yep. Can't find any of his Elesh Norns, any of his Forbidden Alchemies, any of his Ponders.
Solemn Simulacrum in play and resolving.
So Rob, beginning his slow ramping process, has drawn neither Wolf Run nor Nexus.
Tim looking for another bit of action. So far ahead, but no action.
Yep, and he just, it looks like he laid another land there.
Image.
Wow, image.
Image on
Image or Simulacrum?
the Simulacrum.
Huh.
Thinning out the deck a little bit, and then should it die?
Wow. So Tim clearly playing for his Sun Titan endgame here. Just trying to get there, desperately taking all the lands out of his deck. Not desperate enough to Ghost Quarter himself quite yet. I don't think we'll see that.
Yet another land for Robert. Karn.
Wow, Karn number 2.
If this comes down, oh, I think that's a yep. Your hand.
Wow.
Karn. Oh,
no.
Really? Okay. That's interesting. Maybe he's thinking it's going to be removed, but it's not removed.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
That gave Tim an extra card, meaning he's going to be able to draw 2 cards between Robert's turn and his own. That's 2 more cards deep to find something. And Tim is clearly digging by copying that Solemn Simulacrum.
Right. Now, if he just, say if he exiled a card from his hand, he'd be threatening that ultimate, so even if the game did get out of control, he could always restart it.
Yeah.
Maybe he just put Tim on something like another Oblivion Ring, though.
I still go for that card in hand. I mean,
I think so, too. Wow.
Oh, Tim with nothing.
Passes the turn. All of his business is in the bottom third of his deck, bottom half of his deck, I guess.
Robert looks like he top-decked a land.
So in for 2, and Karn will tick up. Gets a go for the throat.
Go for the throat underneath Karn. There's another Copperline Gorge. Passes the turn back. Both these decks are... There we go!
Wow, just in time.
Sun Titan. Just in time to be Karned.
Right. He can at least get this Phantasmal image back.
There is an image.
Get back a Sun Titan. Or rather, get back an image, copy the Sun Titan.
Are there any other images in the yard? Maybe there are.
I am not sure.
I didn't see any, but we did see 2 Forbidden Alchemies cast. 1 natural, 1 flashed back. So maybe there's more. I don't think so, though.
It's like
Blade
Blade
Splicer.
Splicer.
Okay, 12. 16 power suddenly on the board.
Not a bad draw, Sun Titan. And Tim counting Rob's mana.
I mean,
not sure what kind of math he's trying to do
He's
here.
worried perhaps about about a bonfire, perhaps?
Yeah, that must have been it. Realize Rob is 2 lands short, 3 lands short, something like that.
Another Sun Titan makes yet another land.
Yeah, see now, if Rob had just ticked up this Karn Liberated twice, it would be ultimating this turn.
Yeah.
But we'll see what he has in store for us here.
He needs something good.
Glimmer Post is not it.
+1 life.
23. Can you give Karn +1? Is that okay? No.
Okay.
Bonfire would have been a great draw there.
Right. The way Robert drew it, though, I don't think he would have been able to cast it. He just put it pretty much directly in his hand.
Maybe he sided it out for the second game here.
Or maybe he's just, drawing...
Frustratedly drawing his lands.
He's counting. 1, 2, 3.
Ooh, Metamorph.
Oh, wow. Metamorph on Sun Titan. And then Karn away the real Sun Titan.
Wow. So that'll drop Rob to 21. Get back a Corruptor.
Corruptor. Take that, Gollum.
How about that? But now the question is, what does he do with Karn? I think
get rid of the real Sun Titan.
I think he has to. Sure, you can threaten the ultimate, but you can't beat 3 Sun Titans. And this is really weird. Despite how flooded they both are, Rob with none of his special lands in play right now.
We see a Solemn Simulacrum, a Metamorph copying Sun Titan, a Viridian Corruptor facing off against 2 Phantasmal images of a Sun Titan, and a Blade Splicer without a Gollum friend. Tim untaps approximately 1,000,000 mana.
But we'll see what he can do with it. He's drawing off the top right now. He has no gas left in his hand. He would love to draw Forbidden Alchemy. But we'll see if he can do it. I don't think his draw was too relevant, as he hasn't immediately slammed the card he drew.
Looks like he's coming in with everybody. Wait, not the Splicer.
Not the Splicer. The two Sun Titan targets will be land and land. Wow, he has nothing else in there.
The Corruptor looks like it's going to shrink one, and I think we're going to see a chump block there.
Right, we won't see the Metamorph blocking.
And that looks like that's going to be the block. Yep. A card for Robert.
And 2 counters on a Sun Titan.
Passes back to Robert.
Karn currently with 7 counters on it.
Karn is kind of funny against the image on Sun Titan. It can't actually get rid of it for good.
Not really, no. The only thing that Rob can do, Rob can attack, bring the Corruptor back, keep shrinking that other Sun Titan until it finally dies.
Attention players, we have a missing iPhone. It should be ringing right now. So can you take a
looks
quick
like Karn
look around?
is...
If there is a ringing iPhone, please raise your hand.
Looks like he was thinking about taking Karn up. This has been such a strange game.
They both are not playing the way that their decks normally play out.
Just a very, very anemic draws from both players. I really can't believe Tim hasn't put it away.
Well, after the initial advantage, he just struggled there to get any kind of gas. I mean, he pondered, he alchemied a second time, he pondered again. Oh, Bonfire.
Killing one Sun Titan.
Is that a miracle?
Karn kills another. No, he hardcast it.
Are you sure? That's a lot of mana to hardcast it.
I think he hardcast it for 4.
1, 2, 3, 4. Bonfire for 4. Got it. And then the other one...
Did he... Oh, okay. He chose not to bring his Corruptor back because, of course, that would kill the...
Got it. And we see an Alchemy.
So here we go. Tim finally draws an Alchemy. I don't think I saw an Elesh Norn in there. Even if he did find one, though, he would have a tough time beating that Karn.
Meanwhile, the clock ticks down. We're under 15 minutes here.
Yeah, so even if Tim can somehow climb back from this hole, he'll still have to win a game 3.
Yeah, and I mean, Robert Beverley, definitely in the driver's seat here. He finally selects, Tim finally selects a card.
These cards go for the throw, Elesh Norn, and a land.
Okay.
So, not sure what he took over Elesh Norn, maybe a Terminus? That would be a great card right now.
I mean, even if he does that, there's still a Karn waiting to get rid of everything. So there's Tamiyo. Tamiyo is just a speed bump. Tamiyo can tap down the Phyrexian Metamorph Sun Titan, but Karn is still out there. Is Karn at 1 right now?
Karn is at 1.
Okay, so Karn will be able, in a short while, to do something, but right now, a speed bump. And then wait, what is this? A flashback on the Alchemy here.
A little surprising he played the Tamiyo before he flashback.
Yeah, maybe something else could have shown up. Land and go.
So Metamorph stays tapped. And Tim did bin 3 lands off that second Alchemy.
We're going to get you started. That's $10 draft.
Rob Beverley with a Batter Skull in hand.
Take a card out of there. Goodbye, Dave Judgment.
Yep. And now we're just playing a game Karn Ultimate versus Tamiyo Ultimate.
What's that land in Robert's hand? Oh no, those were he was just picking up his land in play.
So
there we have
Titan.
the Primeval Titan.
Is that the first Primeval Titan of this game?
I think
wow, it is.
So, wow. Yeah, that's the first Primeval Titan of the game. And finally, Tim in a very rough position where I'm not sure what he's going to need to put together to get this out. He's got an Elesh Norn in the yard. He's got a couple of Ghost Quarters in play already. Is it 1 or 2 Ghost Quarters in play?
2 Ghost Quarters.
So he
in
does
play.
have the answers to the threat of Inkmoth Nexus. But he still has to deal with Primeval Titan, Sun Titan copy in the form of Phyrexian Metamorph, and Karn on 5.
Right. Now, if he can Day of Judgment right here, and then, well, he needs to find an O-ring. Is what he needs to find.
He needs to stop that Karn.
Cameo Ultimate's still very far away. That's not going to be any help.
And a sphere from Robert.
For good measure.
And
wow, Forbidden Alchemy.
Forbidden Alchemy. You have to wonder if Tim is kind of kicking himself just for laying that land. I mean, I know that means that the alchemy can't be cast at the end of the turn, but there's a Karn in play.
Right.
You know, that Day of Judgment would be really good right now. Splicer, and I couldn't tell what else put to the yard.
Nope, Tim untaps his gigantic pile of lands.
I think he's got about 32 lands there.
Approximately.
And he's flashing back.
Oh, man. Now, if that's the best thing he can do on his turn... Okay,
no,
this
that's
is a
a main
cast.
one. Yeah, so only for 3 mana. Is that an O-ring? I
think
can't
it
quite
is.
tell.
I think that is an O-ring. So that'll solve the Karn problem, but now all of a sudden Tim Wegman has another problem. He has to beat this clock. He also
He's at 6 life.
Yeah, he has to beat the clock, he has to beat his own decking, and he has to beat his life total.
We're under 10 minutes now.
Once again, players in draft number 7, $10 draft.
I would love to see him make this comeback, but I don't see it happening.
That's $10 draft number 7 coming off the main event stage. We're going to get you started.
There's the day. Oh, and he has the O-ring and the mana for it, I think.
Yeah, and
there's the O-ring.
So we are back at parity, except that Tim Wegman has a cameo.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we're going to see Tameo probably hold down either, what do you want to say, either the Ink Moth or something. He's just basically like, whatever you got over there.
Yeah.
Something, one of these cards.
He needs to pick really fast because I don't think he realizes how little time he has.
Yeah, he takes care of the Kessig Wolf run. And he says go.
Yep. So now Rob's in the position where he has to top deck. No, that doesn't untap. And we'll see what Rob draws for his turn.
We're at 8 minutes on the nose.
It's going to be a nail-biter here. I don't see how Tim's going to finish it off, even with this. I mean, even with the ultimate, what's he going to return?
I mean, yeah.
A Phantasmal Image? Copying nothing? I don't think so. He's already gone through 2 of his Sun Titans. He has 1 left in his deck. He's gone through both of his Blade Splicers, 1 Eleshnorn.
We have an Ink Moth coming on in, and I think we're going to see the first of the Ghost Quarters get used.
Yep. So 1 down, 1 to go. And you see how small Rob's deck is. Imagine how small Tim's is. We can't really see it from this top angle, but I'd guess it has about 12 or 15 cards left in it. And Tim definitely sided out all of his Lingering Souls, so he doesn't have those to win with. I think he has 2 win conditions left in his deck.
Primeval Titan number 2.
Wow.
It's good. A cavern there just in case.
Yep, so that'll get the other Nexus and the other Wolf Run.
But with that first Nexus gone,
right,
the Tameo and the if he has another Ghost Quarter, and I think he does, then that means that Robert still doesn't have a path to victory.
Right, both of his Nexuses will be dead, his Nexi.
But Tim, on the other hand, Tameo by itself is not a path to victory. You need to have something else to go with it.
Oh, there's a Batterskull.
Batterskull. Or does Tim have a Dissipate?
I don't.
He's flashing
think so.
back, so he's checking in response to see if he can do anything here.
So now it looks like, it looks like he has about 4 cards left in his deck.
I don't think that he can actually win with... Well, that's not true. He can actually go Sun Titan, Image, have 18 power on the board, and then put an Eleshnorn into play and make that into 24 power.
Yeah,
not counting the Eleshnorn itself.
I believe he still has 1 Sun Titan left in his deck. Miracle? Not a miracle. So even though it looks like Tim Wegman has 2 lands in play, if you're just joining us, he has about 22 lands in play. And this game is close to being over. Tim Wegman has exhausted all of his resources here, trying to find a way to win this game.
Terminus.
Oh boy. Okay, that does not solve the Batterskull problem, but it'll let Tamiyo tick up a little bit.
And Tim's surely taking his time as the clock goes down to 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, it could be he's at the position where he's like, I'm just trying to get a draw.
Yeah, that could definitely be it.
Or it could just be that he is not accustomed to playing under a short clock.
Yeah, I don't think he's really aware of the time. The feature match area is pretty far away from the time, the clock here.
I mean, like, look at this pondering he's taking as he thinks about what he's doing, you know?
Right.
He took several seconds there, maybe about 5-10 seconds to say go. That's rough when you're at less than 5 minutes now.
It adds up.
Robert still. I think we're going to see a return of the Batterskull and then recast it.
Yeah, looks like it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Boink, boink.
And there it goes, Germ Token. Tamiyo has a new tap-down target.
Only 3 cards remain, I believe, in Tim Wegman's deck.
Yep. One of the top 2 has to be a Sun Titan.
And he goes end of turn Ghost Quarter, because why not?
It's going to happen anyway.
3 cards left.
3 cards left. Lands in one pile.
And Robert shuffling because he's allowed. Tim probably asking, hey, can I go?
Wow, Tim draws an Unburial Rites, so
Okay.
that can get back Elishnorn, and I believe there's one Sun Titan in that graveyard.
I don't know if there is. I know that there's a Sun Titan removed from the game.
Right, I know that. That's true. Well, we'll see what this gets. Yep, there it is.
There is a Sun Titan. That means we're going to see 18 power come into play. Boom,
Boom, boom, boom.
boom. And if it wants a Blade Splicer to make it 22 power.
Oh, 3
Oh,
images.
4 images. Never mind. That's a lot of power.
Now, Rob does have 2 Wolf runs, so he can go end of turn, kill 2, my turn, kill 2. So I do believe he's going to be able to outrace the decking of Tim Wegman, as strange as this is. Although Tim can keep 1 Wolf run tapped down. This is going to be really close, actually.
Well, I mean, it's going to be close for the draw, right?
Close for the draw. Yeah, close for the draw.
And we see a Ghost Quarter come back, so a Ghost Quarter actually can take care of that. We see Tamiyo go up to 8 and tap down the Germ.
Tap down Germ token. I don't like that. I think he had to tap down Wolf Run there. Because Rob can just bounce the Batterskull, play it again. End of turn.
2, and then hold up, or we'll get your Kessig Wolf Run.
Shuffle again.
2.5 minutes remain in this game.
Tim Wegman maybe kicking himself for siding out all of his win conditions, side out Lingering Souls, although they aren't very good against ramp.
I think more, if he's kicking himself at all, it's about his pace. One of the things, whenever you're playing a controlling deck, you have to practice it to the point where, should your opponent be playing a little bit more ponderously, that you can finish a match.
Right. That's definitely true. And that's sort of something that doesn't get talked about a lot either.
And more life from the Glimmer Post. I really don't like what Tim is doing with his land, for example. I mean, things like that mean it takes more time for him to actually cast his spells.
Right.
And time is at a premium right now. Like, look at this. He has to pick it up.
He's obviously frustrated with how many lands he has in play right now.
I understand, but you know, like, time is real. Less than 2 minutes remain.
Yeah. 1:30 now, and they have no time extension. So Batterskull comes back into play.
Batterskull comes back.
With a fresh Germ. Rob will pass.
Let's go.
Tim untaps. He'll draw his second to last card.
I mean, it is, in a sense, you know, a moot point because of this size of his deck. He might not be able to even get the draw, but it's possible that there is a win somewhere hiding in here that that he can work out. But 5 extra turns is not going to do it. I mean, he has to. To be fair, at this point, we're no longer at a point where time matters. Given that Tim's deck. Well, that's not true though. Terminus, if he has another Terminus, that's the only Terminus. So never mind that. I was going to say a Terminus could reset the deck a little bit.
Reset all the Titans. So, if I'm Tim, I'm Unburial Rightsing the Elishnorn. and attacking for as much as I can right now. I don't see what else he can do.
Is there a wolf run that's open there at the end?
There is.
Okay.
One wolf run left to Rob Beverley.
30 seconds remain.
Yeah, this will be the last turn he can use it. It will get ghost quartered this turn. So we're at 18 seconds.
Dead phantasmal image.
Yeah, and that's in the attack phase. So 2 triggers.
Take 12.
Yeah, see, I'm not sure why Tim didn't flash back on the Norn right there. To deal 14.
2 more triggers.
So time has just been called.
Another image. And is that a ghost quarter?
I think that's what's peeking out there.
Once again, players, that is time in the round.
And we'll see what all the other triggers are targeting. Okay, 1 ghost quarter, 2 ghost quarters. Doesn't matter a heck of a lot. And take 12. Rob drops to 11.
So now it's the question of, is this a draw? Or does Robert win 2-0? Robert needs just to get... What? Depends if Tim has the second dissipate in his hand or not. If Robert has this, or sorry, if Tim has the second dissipate, I don't think there is any card that Robert can do to win the game.
Yeah, I'm not sure, even if he doesn't have a dissipate, what can be done here. He can bonfire.
That's what I was looking at.
He has 1 bonfire.
Oh, he only has the 1 bonfire.
1 in the board. He might have brought it in. 1
Devil's play.
None of these others will do it, I don't think. So returns
and
the
a turn,
Batterskull.
Batterskull back. And everything is here on this card right here.
Let's see what it is. Oh, miracle? Is it a miracle?
No.
It is not a miracle. That's a Batterskull. And he'll say go. Crushing Vines in hand. Sphere of the Sun's in play. And Tim Wegman is going to win this game with 0 cards in his library. Wow. Heck of a game these two have had here. And I think the Dissipate was the last card.
He draws. No cards left in library. We are officially on, I believe, turn 2. Elish Norn.
Elish Norn for good measure. Each of these Sun Titans is 8 power. And Rob Beverley about to take 40 damage here. Sending this into Game 3, but there's no time for a Game 3. This will be a 1-1 draw, unless one of them chooses to concede.
Stranger things have been known to happen.
Yeah. Now, if you're Tim Wegman, I think you want to be in the draw bracket. Rob Beverley, I'm not sure.
I actually don't know. He might want to be in the draw bracket. In a certain sense, it's obviously better to be in the winning bracket.
Right.
But yeah, I think that's a draw right there. I think no one is conceding. That's just
the handshake of a draw.
That's a handshake.
So that was a heck of a game there. Tim Wegman winning with 0 cards left. If you're just joining us, I'm Zach Hall, joined by Adrian Sullivan here. Round 5 of Star City Open Worcester. We just saw a 40-minute marathon game between Solar Flare and Ramp. Crazy
now,
game.
Both of those decks did not come out of the gate in any fashion that's normal for them.
No.